Tobacco smoking started in China in the 1590s, 1600s, when the tobacco plant was brought from South America by traders, and the Chinese took to tobacco very swiftly and got to like it. Once they were used to tobacco smoking, it apparently was quite common to somehow put a tincture of opium with your tobacco shot, as it were. And then gradually this moved into taking of the pure drug through inhalation.
Smoking opium is a new way of consuming it. One breath sends the drug's chemical endorphins to the lungs and onto the brain. At the strike of a match, opium's joyful highs are more intense.
People smoked opium lying on their sides in these pipes that they had developed. And so opium dens and smoking became a social environment. It wasn't simply the taking of the drug. It wasn't simply the escape from reality, the euphoria that came with the drug. It was a euphoria that came amidst other people. And of course, it became extremely profitable, not only for those selling the opium, but for those running the dens.
Smoking opium is the ruin of China. By 1800, 2 centuries after the first opium arrives, 1/3 of the country is addicted. Though opium has been outlawed for 100 years, foreigners continue to sell it there. Most comes from British colonial plantations in India. A chest costs $2 to produce and sells for $10. The misery of China is a financial windfall for Britain.
It's about money. It's about huge quantities of money. These are the same people, the same culture, the same civilization that has made millions in the slave trade. Why should we believe that people who took millions of Africans and brought them to the New World would have any sensitivity whatsoever about the opium trade to the Orient, to the East? These are men, these are companies seeking profits. And if you can visit misery on someone you cannot see, then it's just fine. And the profits were enormous.
In defiance, China attempts to end the opium trade. Britain declares war.
And it was a major defeat for China, as Britain used the new technology of steamships and much better weapons, long-range guns and so on, and much more accurate rifles at this time. So the Chinese lost, and they were forced to sign a treaty in 1842. The Chinese continued to say opium should not be smoked by their own people. The British continued to sell it. The drugs trade, in fact, increased dramatically after the war.
Over the course of 6,000 years, opium evolved from a blessing into a curse. It started as dried sap people ate to kill pain and feel joy. But by the 17th century, an accident of history changes its route to the brain and lays the foundation for the world's first drug epidemic. Opium's curse isn't limited to China. In the 19th century, it yields another narcotic to a chemist looking for a way to make opium stronger. The result is the most powerful painkiller in the world and the most addictive. The new narcotic will both bless America with the relief of pain and plague it with the worst epidemic of drug abuse in its young history.